the miracle doc, they counted me out. Moment of truth, counting it down. Underdog story was down for the count. Back on my feet, back with a mic, back on the beat, back with a family that bang in the streets. The game on lock, I stand with a key. Standing my ground, I am counting the fleet. Standing my ground, I am planting my feet. Taking a stand, embracing my destiny, shaking his hand, flipping the script.
What's going on, everybody? Welcome to Sunday Night CrossFit Talk. Here we are. Another Sunday, another Bears loss.
I'm sorry.
We keep counting them up.
We go at 8:20, so Lana, you better be watching those lines for me.
I was trying to pull it up in like a small screen just to kind of keep an eye on it.
That would be great.
It's a game. It's a great game tonight.
I know.
So yeah, and I have Amon-Ra St. Brown in my fantasy league.
Oh,
so.
do you? Good
And I
player.
need him desperately.
Yeah.
I need another headstand touchdown celebration.
That was wonderful.
Can you do a headstand?
I mean, like that with no arms?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Oh.
I mean, yes, I'm sure for a second or two, right? Like, I don't know. That's funny that you asked that because we're doing a handstand skill progression right now. And last Sunday we did like the stag drill, like your legs like split like that, right? And then frog stand, like you would have as a kid, put your knees on your elbows and then like go up into a headstand. And then to this week I did a couple today of like crow, so same, like the kind of like the on the knees into a handstand, not to your head, like kicking up, kind of like a beginner press to handstand. So yeah, I don't know, I'll have to maybe throw the mat out and try a freestanding headstand.
Well, what's funny is Monday night I got bored with the game and I flipped over to the Manning cast, and Eli tried the headstand in his basement. So like he said, if he told Peyton if they scored, he was going to go over and try the headstand celebration. So he got up into it with his hands touching the ground.
Right.
The minute he took his hands off, he toppled.
Yeah.
But he said, like, think about it. Amon-Ra had a helmet.
Yeah.
Which would make it a little bit easier to like not crush your skull.
Absolutely.
Right. While you're doing that. But yeah, what a cool celebration.
Yeah.
And it started in a high school.
Did it?
Yeah.
And he's not the first one. Someone else had done it like the week or whatever before. And then.
Yeah. Apparently a kid in high school did it as a shout out to something. Okay. And then it just has spread since then as people trying it. But so the Atlanta Falcon that tried it, it was weak. It was weak sauce. It did not.
Amon had some pretty good hang time.
Yeah, I think it was Drake London of the Falcons.
Okay.
He piked before he really got it, where Amon-Ra went full like perpendicular, strict, core engaged headstand before he came down.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, hopefully he does about 3 of those tonight.
Let's hope.
So don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel. Hit that notifier so you're the first to know when our new episodes come out. I'm really been brainstorming about what we're going to do moving into the next season, and maybe make some changes with not this show, because this show is Jamie's pushing buttons. Look out.
Where's the chat? Is nobody on? I see like people are viewing, and usually we have comments by now.
Yeah, I don't see anything in the chat either. So maybe they're just not chatty tonight. Maybe
Can you hear us?
Maybe they woke up at 5 a.m. like I did. And they're just hanging on. So yeah, but we're thinking about making some changes, not to this show. This is one of our core shows that will not move. It will be here every week, and our roundtable. But I'm thinking about putting some other stuff out. We'll see about that in the coming weeks and months. Tomorrow is Veterans Day.
Sure is.
So make sure you thank a veteran, thank them for their service. If you're listening and you are a veteran, thank you for your service.
Thank you.
The CrossFit world commemorates this and celebrates this by generally doing Chad 1000 now.
Mm-hmm.
You actually did this game style.
Well, did you watch the whole reel?
I did not watch the whole reel.
Okay.
So did it not go well?
We started that, and then we did like 200 game style, and then we're like, I don't know if this is such a great idea. So we pulled the boxes off and we started doing. So my class WOD for Saturday was 45 minutes of I do 10 steps, you do 10 steps on one box. And once we had done the 200 solo, that version is harder. And I tweaked my calf last Sunday, and coming down was not great. So I was like, let's just swap to going to the You Go, I Go. And we thought about going over still, but we're like, let's just pull the box out. And so we finished up by going You Go, I Go.
Okay. So if you don't know what that means, at the games this year, it was step up on a box, then up to another box, and then down the other side. So you had a pyramid of boxes.
Right.
So you actually did 1, 2, 3, 4.
It's just 2.
Oh, just 2.
Yeah. So it's 1, 2, down, down, 3, 4, down, down.
Okay.
It's slower for sure. I think it was like, I was like 5:36 or something for my first round of 20 steps. And I was like 4. I'm like 4 something when I do regular Chad step ups, but for 20 steps. Yeah, slower, kind of scary. I don't know that it would have been so scary at the games with a load of them, and they probably had it scared. I didn't band my boxes down, and some of our boxes are getting like real dinged up on the side, a little bit wobbly. So yeah, you get to the very top, you're way up there, and it's a little unstable, and you're like, I don't really like it up here.
Yeah. Lana did hers on a 20-inch box with no vest. Awesome job.
Yeah. She did comment on my post. She said they were doing it as a gym today. So that's awesome.
Yeah. I'll probably do some version tomorrow using something around my house. I don't have a box, but yeah, I'll probably do something.
Those steps up and down all day.
Yep. I saw I think it was Hiller, and I think he's down with William Leahy.
Oh yeah.
They were doing a stair stepper. And that one you'd have to keep the pace, right? Like, cause it's
right.
moving.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Gnarly. Ew. I think you'd be
but yeah, so thank you so much to the veterans, and thank you for giving us the day off tomorrow, because the last couple of days getting up at 5 a.m. I used to do that all the time, and now I cannot. It is just miserable for me to get up in the morning. My circadian rhythm has always been a night owl, and I kind of forced myself out of it. And now that I'm back to that, I don't want any part of anything else.
Yeah. Yeah. Aaron has tomorrow off too. So that'll be nice.
Yeah. Catch up on some stuff. So, everything else going well? How's the tennis lessons?
Interesting. Yeah. I suck. I mean, like I can get by playing tennis matches by just like running around and being quick, but like lessons, and he's like trying to fix my stroke. Like I don't know. I just can't figure it out. Like I can't come from the side. You'd think I'd be able to, like more like golf side and swinging through, but I can't. Like I like to run up to the ball and like poke at the ball, and he's trying to fix that. But hi, Tristan.
Yeah. When I was in college and I retired from swimming, I kind of dove into tennis. And not for any reason, but other than just to try to stay moving and find something fun.
Yeah.
And I was okay. I was doing pretty well, like just playing with friends. And then one of my friends' girlfriends was a like world ranked tennis player.
Yeah.
And she wanted to play a little bit. And so I agreed to play with her and she would kill me. But then she would give me lessons after and I started getting better. And I developed like even a pretty good first serve, but I wasn't very accurate with it. So if it hit, it was awesome. If it didn't, then my second serve was blah. And then I just had to run and do whatever. And then when we moved to Florida, I met a guy there and we played every Sunday.
That's awesome.
In the Florida heat, we would play five sets. And,
Wow.
and yeah, it was really good for me. I wish I could find someone to do that again. I don't know if my body could handle the pounding of tennis.
That's why pickleball's all the rage, because you don't have to move as much.
Yeah, but it doesn't seem as fun to me. But
yeah, I like the running around. Like I'll like purposely like go back and forth. You know, like I like that. I just want to get like decent enough to be able to play with Lucas and not get demolished.
Yeah. The girl that I would play with, she would demolish me all the time. Like literally, she would have me running from side to side.
Yeah.
And I'm just returning it right to her every time.
Yeah.
You know, and then she's just standing there like tink, 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 like making me look like a puppet on a string.
Mm-hmm.
But it's cool that you're trying to take lessons and get it because it's a fun sport.
Yeah.
And as long as you have a friend, you can play anywhere.
Mm-hmm.
You know, which is pretty cool. Yeah, I think that's nothing real exciting in our neck of the woods. It's been Rogue and hanging out. Someone just came into our document. It said anonymous kangaroo.
Is it me?
Maybe. Yours is usually red and says redemption. Yeah. But I don't know. Who knows?
I'm in anyway.
I was gonna say something and just totally. Julie made me watch the movie Woman of the Hour. The new Anna Kendrick on Netflix.
Okay.
It was her like directorial debut, and it's about a serial killer who in the 70s. It's a real true story. But she went on the dating game and he was one of the contestants.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. I didn't like the movie.
No.
Yeah, I would not recommend. And I don't think this spoils it too much, but like the Anna Kendrick part is half the movie, and her part and her character is irrelevant to how the story ends. So to me, the story at the end when they updated you about all the stuff this person had done and blah blah blah, like I was like, well, that's really interesting. Why didn't you tell me that story? And why did you choose to pick this?
Mm-hmm.
I think the dating game thing should have been like a small 5-minute piece of what he kind of did instead of it being a major aspect of the movie. That's my opinion. I know my daughter loved it. But I did not care for it.
I'll keep that in mind. We watched Hillbilly Elegy last night. I had
not seen it a few years ago.
Did you watch it when it came out?
Yeah.
But it was good.
Yeah, it takes place like right around us.
I was gonna say that it's Middletown, Ohio. Is it pretty accurate of that area?
Yeah, like that's down in Appalachia, so that's like that's where like Corey went to college. That area down there, and Tristan says, speaking of movies, watch the new Joker. Oof,
not good, really.
That's what I've heard.
Oh, that's a bummer.
But yeah, they actually come to Columbus for some stuff in the movie Hillbilly Elegy, and so like some of that stuff is very familiar. But yeah, it's definitely that where Corey went to college. If you leave her college town, it's very much that. But I could not believe that was the grandmother was the famous actress.
I don't know who played her, but boy, did they do a phenomenal job.
It's a famous. She's won like 10 Academy Awards. Like,
Oh, I know who it is. Yeah. Now that you say that, and I like picture her not as
I could name her all the time, and now I can't. She was in
it's not Judi
Bridges of
Dench, is it?
Madison County. She was in Mamma Mia. She
It's
was
not Meryl
in.
Streep.
Yes. That's who it is.
No.
Yep.
No.
Yep.
It is not.
It is.
Oh, that's not who I would have thought it was. But the
Which makes it even more amazing that it was her.
Yeah. They did a good job on her wardrobe and makeup. Like, holy cow.
And now he's our vice president.
Mm-hmm.
So
cool story. Like, that dude came from
literally Shitsville.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Good for him.
Yeah. So yeah, Joker. I liked the first Joker, but it was a one-watch movie. Like, I could never go back and put myself through that again. And the second one is supposedly like a musical.
Oh. Mm-mm. No thanks.
And I like a musical in the right place, but Joker just doesn't seem to be that kind of place for me.
Mm-mm. Yeah, no, that does not sound interesting.
All right. Well, we're 16 minutes in. We should probably hit Rogue a little bit.
All right. What do we got?
So day 3 from Rogue today. Got up at 5 a.m. and they pushed the start time an hour ahead. So got it for nothing. And then they pushed it to 6. But we started with gondola.
Uh-huh.
Which was our horizontal pegboard.
Mm-hmm.
Ski erg and GHD. If you knew what you were doing on a horizontal pegboard, you crushed it. If you didn't, it took some time to figure it out. Or if you had limited grip capacity, you hit a dead spot.
Yeah.
And it was all about the pegboard.
Yeah. Speed on the pegboard. It was interesting to watch. More fun on the men's side. Did you get the pick right on Laura versus the field?
She won, right?
No, Brent got her by 4 seconds.
I didn't get it then. I didn't even check my standings.
He looked great.
He did.
Oh,
if he would have done a double 360 coming off the last one, maybe then she would have won.
Right. He was fun to watch. He was so smooth on it. It was interesting to watch people's technique. Some swing, some just boom, 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 boom. Like, you're like, go a little.
Well, Laura was one at a time, but fast.
Yeah. I was actually surprised she didn't take, because she would have been faster than Brent had she like probably used
Brent
a little bit of.
Like the last one, he was doing like 5 at a time,
mm-hmm.
Which was pretty amazing. It also was reported that Emma Tall suffered a tear in her shoulder a week before practicing the horizontal pegboard. And that's why she hit the wall she hit.
I see.
And that was reported by David Shrunky, her partner.
Okay.
On Instagram today. So,
you know, and I almost, when we were picking for third place yesterday, I almost said like the tape on her shoulder has me a little concerned, but she looked okay in the other events that I wasn't like too.
I can't remember who I picked.
You picked Ariel. Come on. I mean, it's
Did
a
I?
good pick. It's a good pick.
Okay. Just saying.
Shrunky and Emma are married. Craig's saying husband.
Last I knew they were together. I don't know what the official status of.
Yeah, I didn't know that. I thought they were just boyfriend girlfriend.
Yeah. I know like Lynette Berger is really tight with her.
Yes.
I could find out because she coached her at the games 2 years ago.
Craig says yes. Good for them. I mean, I don't know. I didn't like that they had to stay in the same line. I don't know why they opted for that rule. Because it was already difficult enough for the women. Like, why are you putting limitations on what they're doing? Like, they just need to get across.
Well, most of them did the bottom line anyway. Like, where were they going to
Yeah.
go?
I don't know. I don't, who knows if they
If
would
you're
have done.
struggling, you're not going up.
It may have gotten some of them to bend their elbow. Did you see Hiller test it?
No.
Like, he showed it, and he's like in the, like you would pegboard bent and like reaching across, reaching through, and so like one's above, one's below. Like, I think it could have been quicker.
Well, Hiller was a wrestler, so they did that. They do that stuff all the time. What I did notice, Saxon pulled himself up every time.
Yep. So,
So
some
he could
did.
place it in and drop it, the peg in each time. Chandler did that. But yeah,
and they would have probably been more comfortable could they have gone like their alternating rows.
Yeah. Whatever it was, it wreaked havoc on the leaderboard this morning.
Yeah.
But the true fact is that the other stuff was just interference. There was no game-changing move on the GHD or the ski erg.
Yeah, I agree. And my thought after watching it was I would have much rather seen a pegboard elimination. Just do a pegboard. Because that's an accuracy thing and quickness. And 4 rounds of that would have been, you did 4 pegboards anyway, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean,
Sure.
Laura would have still won. And
Sure. Brent would have still won.
Well, he ended up second, but very close, right? Like,
well, yeah. Well, he won the event. Brent won.
He did, but he didn't win the duel. He got second to geat.
Right.
So like the other way would have benefited Brent.
Okay.
But
so then we went to the handstand walk, lunge, heavy double under.
Mm-hmm.
I thought that was a really good event. I liked the pirouette that they added to the end of the handstand walk. You had to make a call. Do I come down, shake out before I do that with the turn? And then some had to stop right after it. Some were able to go the rest of the way unbroken. It really did make a huge bit of difference. The lunge, they kept commenting on the tailgate show how beautiful that sear bell was. And it looked really good, like overhead in that lunge.
It did. I thought everyone had really good body positioning. Bring up Budo's comment.
On, but Emily Rolfe's technique on the GHD, people said wasn't correct.
I can't stand that. I was shocked that Rogue didn't specify that.
If it's allowed, though, she's allowed to do it.
I know. I agree. That's what I'm saying. I was shocked that Rogue said whatever goes. I can't stand seeing that.
Right. It is not optimal. Like if you get your L1, they do not teach that as the technique. Right. But they allowed it in the standards at Rogue, and they've allowed it at other events as well. And if you can get away with it, it just works different muscles. And so it's more of you're pulling with your legs instead of your abs. Apparently Tristan doesn't like it either. The old cheater GHD.
Yes, that one.
You can call it that, but if it's allowed in the rules, you're allowed to do it.
Yeah, but okay, this is why things in our sport keep happening and keep being problems, because people see this and they're like, oh, I should do it that way. And then an online comp comes out and has them and it says don't do it, but like, and who's freaking watching all those videos and checking that? Like, that's like, get a standard down pat and keep it that way so people train the proper freaking way.
I know when I had to judge it at regionals back in the day, your butt had to be behind the top of the pad.
Yes. And 80-90% of comps or even online qualifiers, it'll say that on the rules. So like,
but it didn't here apparently.
Yeah, I know. I don't know. It goes back to like how you practice, how you play. So she must practice them that way. And I don't like
This is
that.
a
Like,
whole nother show, but it really goes to having a rule book that has standard of movement for your basic core movements that you use a lot.
sure. Or if all the top level athletes actually moved correctly and moved well and did things the proper way, then all the fans that watch would also do it the proper way.
Right. But this is a sport and people are going to look at for any advantage they can unless you put it in the rule book.
Quit trying to cheat things. That's what I'm saying. As a professional athlete, be professional. Quit trying to cheat things.
But that's being naive.
Yeah, I don't know.
Look, people in football try to do stuff, grab, tug, pull whenever they can. In baseball, they're given signs by beating on trash cans in the dugout. Like, it's people cheat. That's what sports, it's part of sports. You've got, if you want to fix it, you need a rule book of standards.
We do need a rule. I agree. I agree with that.
I know, but if you had a good standard of movement book that you put out there, maybe people would adopt that because it would take a huge chunk off of your plate, writing up the workout descriptions.
Yeah. And it would make judging better I mean, it might take a year or two, but like, man, once they figured out these movements and what they're supposed to be looking for, and it's consistent at every single comp, you notice when people start doing things a little funky. I mean, you all noticed it. Everyone's like, man, everyone went on live is like, that doesn't seem right.
There was a man who did it too.
Yeah.
I can't remember which one now, but
yeah, I don't know.
So just don't pick on my Emily, okay?
I like Emily. I mean, almost like maybe she went too fast there doing that. And was it even necessary?
No, probably not. And it didn't matter because she got stuck on the pegboard.
I know, that's what I'm saying. Like, don't need to like race those. You didn't need to race those implements. You needed to be smooth on the pegboard.
I think it looks terrible, and it's not the way you're taught in an L1. But most of these athletes haven't even taken their L1, so that's
true.
Who knows?
Yeah.
So we talked handstand, walk, lunge, heavy double under. The heavy double under didn't seem to be a problem for a lot of the top tier athletes. It looks like Haley has not got that fixed.
That's what I figured.
She had that problem at regionals, if you remember, where she's a little cockeyed when she's swinging, and it was still there and evident. And the heavy rope will make you pay for that.
Right.
It was funny though when you looked at the men. Adler was jumping so much higher than the other men, like less efficient.
I said the exact same thing watching it live. I was like, dude, Adler looks like I thought to me, he looked like Jim Pieper jumping. Jim jumps really high and I'm like, that is not smooth. Like, he is spending so much energy.
Yeah, he still did okay this weekend, but Laura looked amazing. So smooth on every aspect of it. Didn't make an error. And then did Brent won that one, right?
No. That one I was so annoyed with.
Medeiros won, and the live stream did not have him on it.
Right. Which in second was Jay Crouch.
Yep.
Yeah, the live stream you couldn't even see. I like rewound it to try to see if I could even see him in the far end of the camera, like lunging or starting to handstand walk. You never saw him.
Yeah. Justin was kind of invisible all weekend.
Yeah. Who did I call for that workout?
Yeah, I called it in the heat one up too. I actually went with your advice.
Okay.
But yeah, the Justin one that we don't know if he looked good or not on it because we didn't see him. But other guys did. Brent looked good. But Brent, his handstand walks he had to break them up much more on the last round, where Jay Crouch did not. And that's where Jay kind of got ahead of him. And apparently Medeiros blew by both of them.
Yeah.
So yeah, that was a fun event to watch. Then we go. Oh, I did a judging thing on this. I'm watching it live, and Danny Spiegel is get on the handstand walk is being told to go. No, come back. No, go. No, come back. And then a head judge has to come over and tell her where she needs to start the next
Yeah.
rep. If you are a judge and you don't know where to tell an athlete to start after they come down on a handstand walk, you shouldn't be judging.
Right. Well, they made her do a whole extra section.
Oh, and then she said afterwards on the tailgate show, so you had to have the premium package to see this. She did not do enough reps for the workout, and she reported it to the head judge afterwards.
Yeah.
And she said she was probably going to get a penalty, and she was fine with that, but she didn't want to cheat the system because her judge let her go before she had to. So she did not go into details to what part. Rumor was that it was double under. She didn't do the full 100. But I don't know that for a fact. And when you saw the judge messing up just the handstand walk, I was like, that judge shouldn't even be on the floor. Like, she should have been pulled, especially on a Sunday.
Yeah. Maybe it wasn't Danny. Maybe it was someone else that I saw get told to like restart their handstand walk, but they had already passed the one white line. So, and they were way almost in the next one, but they pulled them all the way back to the very beginning, which made no sense to me.
But I would say overall, like, there were not a lot of judging issues this weekend. I think it was one of the cleaner events
I agree.
we've had. I wish they would announce penalties so you understood why the person you're rooting for that you put in the Heat One app is winning is no longer in the event.
Yeah.
Like, that would be nice to know. But they don't really care about me, so. And then we went to the big secret finale, which was Sandbag Grace. And I thought it was boring.
I don't disagree.
It just, it was hard to tell what rep they were on.
Oh, it was.
It was clunky. If you were there live, maybe it was better because, again, only being able to see a limited amount of the floor, you didn't know who was where and what, and the rep counters were way off on the stream. I just didn't, and I love Grace as a workout. I did not like this.
I don't know what I would have rather have seen. Like, I don't know if it needed to be spread out on the floor more with clearer numbers. I don't know if I would have rather seen it go over the shoulder. It was just meh for me.
When you take away now it's probably what helped the judging, but when you take away the touch and go and you make them do the arm out, it just slowed it down to make it really clunky to me.
Yeah, but it would have been so sloppy.
It would have been.
I
admitted it probably helped the judging.
But that's where you just go over the shoulder. I mean, it takes away the touch and go, but people, because I think even there's still like the arm is off, but there's still questionable. Are you stable there? That seems like it's right about like you're kind of already dropping it, even though your hand came off, right? So like, and those people got to move quicker and got slightly less fatigue. Like, if you're gonna like be questionable on some of those, then just go over the shoulder. If you're trying to eliminate the touch and go, pop it over the shoulder.
Yeah.
Then people skirt the body, especially with a sandbag that big. I don't know. That's a tough one for me. And once again, everyone just wants things to be heavier and put the heavier bag for the women, and they're still a minute slower than the men. Like, why? Why can't we just move it faster?
Again, you and I disagree on that. I don't really care. that the women are slower because you're only competing against women. But
There's a lot not finishing too, though.
how many people didn't finish that?
I don't know. Enough.
I have it up. I can look.
4 or 5, 3, 4. But they're all slower. It's not as exciting at the end. I thought the men's race was actually pretty exciting.
I didn't think any of it was exciting. So Lynn has my back and says that only 4 didn't finish, and they weren't going to.
They weren't going to because it's too heavy. It slowed everyone down. I mean, when Tia is a minute slower than the men, it's fine.
Tia won. So this weekend it was either Tia or Laura that won every event. Tia won 5, Laura won 4. Tia wins the event.
Are you surprised Tia won that event?
I did not pick her. I will say that.
I didn't either.
But I'm never surprised when she wins.
No, but I didn't pick her. So yeah, I mean, it wasn't my first thought. And the way Laura was talking all weekend and the last day, basically calling her shot on the heavy sandbag, or Danny, this one's a little more fitness endurance.
I called Danny. She took second. Laura took 4th. I think that I had both of them in my heat 1.
I did too. I think that's what I had.
I did not have Ariel 3rd.
Yeah.
On that event. But she is getting stronger, and we talked about that this weekend. Mm-hmm. I would have thought Alex Kazan would have done better on that than Ariel.
Mm.
But
Haley super impressed me.
Yeah. Well, that first heat with Haley, Emily.
Yeah, Emily, holy cow.
Finishing it fairly quickly.
Yeah.
Surprised me.
They looked good.
Yeah, super happy for them. So then we go to the overall leaderboard, and I guess we can pull it up real quick since I have it here.
So, do you know, was Brooke one of the ones penalized in the duel?
I do not know. Again, I wish they would tell us because you're only speculating.
What'd you say the penalty on that was?
10 seconds.
Yeah, then I think she for sure was penalized. I think Brooke would have podiumed.
Well, I think Danny would have come really close if she wouldn't have been penalized on that either, because she took like a dead last.
Was Danny, because Brooke, I think, got 19th.
I think Danny was 20th. I can't get there.
But Brooke would have beat her.
Danny took 18th.
Okay, so Brooke took 19th, and Brooke was 40 points ahead of Danny. Like, Brooke's only 30 points behind Ariel and took 19th in that work in the dual workout. So if she gets 10th or 11th, even just makes it through that round, she's podiuming.
Yeah.
Like, I don't think anyone's mentioned that. Like, they just think it was a pretty good weekend for Brooke, but I mean, I think she basically.
I just feel like everybody dogs on Danny for the most part, and I thought she had a great weekend.
I do too, and you know what? I was
kudos.
Quite impressed with her movement this weekend. She did a good job on her ring muscle ups. Really took her time on those and pressed out. I was impressed with her this weekend too, and very. And I know Danny's I know she's friends with Jen, and I know she's like a super bubbly person and probably hard to dislike if you know her in person, right? You could just see that on the floor with fans, interaction. She looked like she was having a great time out there, being extremely friendly and signing autographs. Good to see. Good for the comp. I mean, that's going to bring more eyes.
Yeah. Yeah. I thought it was great. I thought she was a great invite to bring. She did well. She deserved it. And she showed she belonged. But let's go overall top 5. Tia took first, Laura second. No surprise there. Ariel took third. Alex Gazan took fourth, and Brooke Wells took fifth. I think the biggest shocker is that Gabby McGowan finished in 8th and didn't even do the final day.
I know, right? And I think she would have done. I'm curious how she would have done on the pegboard, but I think she would have done pretty good at the handstand walk.
Yeah, and I think she would have done well on Grace.
Yeah.
So I know we're kind of skipping around at this point. But I watched her interview with Patrick Clark and Be Friendly Fitness. And she did confirm that it is suspected that it is an Achilles.
Yeah.
There was a rumor floating around that it wasn't that it was actually an ACL.
I don't know where people were getting all of their information.
But out of her own mouth, 99% sure that it was an Achilles tear. And she goes to see her doctor this week, and she wants to get surgery as quickly as possible.
Yeah.
And if you didn't see that, it's worth a watch to hear what Gabby says. She talks about that she found a new person.
I know. I loved that.
And that this person is a badass, and that she doesn't even really know who that is yet.
Right. That, she's still trying to explore her more.
Know this new person.
Yeah.
Right. And it's a shame that she found her and then this happens.
Mm-hmm.
But she's going to need that badass to get through this rehab. Because we all know, and I said it this weekend, my friend Chelsea Nicholas did the same injury at the games, and it is a long haul. And there are lots of ups and downs throughout this. But CrossFit says, really hope we get evolved Gabby and not a punctuation mark like Fouché. Well, Fouché was retiring after that season regardless. So whether she injured her Achilles or not, she was going to go into the medical field at that point. So that was going to be a punctuation mark regardless. Any surprises for you this weekend?
I thought Haley might finish a little higher than she did. I like the things that tripped her up. I'm surprised that she couldn't get through the pegboard, quite honestly.
She was too. So she was on the tailgate party. And she said that everything she thought she was going to do well in, she did bad in.
Yeah.
And everything she thought she was going to do bad in, she did well in. And so she goes, I really need to go back and kind of look at things.
I mean, yeah, she's clearly put some effort into the strength. But we've always known that about Gabby or about Haley, that her 1 rep strength just isn't what's there. She's always moved 80-90% well. She moved the squat snatch as well. That didn't necessarily surprise me. Moved this sandbag well, maybe a little better than, but I mean, she's been working on strength. She's going to be even stronger. I don't know that remaking her. And I think this is partly why she never wanted to stray from continuing to train her strengths. Tristan and I had lots of talks about that. Like I'm never going to get super strong. It's just not going to happen. And I'd rather just continue to win the things that I'm going to win.
Yeah, I think there's a way to balance that where you don't, but it's got to be a careful balance.
Yeah.
So let's go to the men. I guess my surprise would be that I wouldn't have guessed Ariel to podium. I even probably wouldn't have had her in my top 5.
Interesting.
And it really just comes from, and I'm friends with her, but I'm not friends, right? So I just got a sense after the games that she was a little bit broken.
Yeah.
And I was worried about her going into Rogue. And so I was pleasantly surprised to see that she's not.
Yeah. I think she's definitely still got the like she's a competitor, right? She's going to hit that floor and she's going to compete. If she's in an environment she's comfortable in, and she's there with several other girls that she really enjoys, like being there with Danny, I'm sure helped a lot.
Right. Right. I think so. I think she just had to get back in that environment and know that, Rogue takes care of their athletes. And you've heard her speak on barbell spin that like she felt like a monkey in a circus at the games.
Mm-hmm.
And that is not how Rogue treats the athletes. So I think it was a great environment to like get your mojo back.
Yeah.
So let's go to the men's side.
Okay.
Jeff Adler wins convincingly. Never really gave up the lead for the weekend. Brent Fikowski goes out with a bang and a second place finish at Rogue, and Jason Hopper podiums in a major competition for the first time. I think that there's some great storylines there. Ricky Garrard in fourth, Dallin Pepper in fifth. Jay Crouch he's like Mr. Sixth now, isn't he?
Yes.
Guy in seventh, Justin Medeiros in eighth, Patrick Vellner in ninth, Yonakoski in 10th. I did see that Adler talked after his win and talked about that what happened at the games broke his focus, and that's why he walked away.
Yeah.
And so coming into Rogue, his focus was to win, and he was able to get that focus back again. So which I thought that was cool to hear. Again, cool to see Brent go out with a bang. I thought that was awesome. We've talked about it with his retirement this week a little bit, about just the respect we have for him, and glad to see him go out kind of on top.
Yeah.
And Hopper, this has got to be huge for his confidence.
Yeah.
Even though Rogue fits his style better, he's getting better and better. But I did see JR say that he did buy a log muscle up bar.
I thought I saw that somewhere.
And was hoping that Jason would use it more. If he doesn't shit the bed on that event, what did he finish, like 19th?
Yep.
Yeah. Event 4, 19th.
Yep.
And Jared's like, it's probably just going to sit there, but there it is.
He'll work on it.
But yeah.
I mean, to be fair, Brent had an 18th. So, and the 19th versus the 18th, was he going to finish any higher than he did?
But if it's 3 years in a row, it's a hole.
Well, yeah. I mean, there's no excuse for it, really.
Right. So what's your surprise on the men's side?
Well, I'm hearing Pat was sick, but he didn't look like himself. So where he finished was a surprise, but not if he's sick.
You're always Pat centric.
I know. I love Pat. I sort of thought Chandler would be in the top 10. Rogue is usually a good event for him. I think unfortunately for him, the field is just getting so good and moving so well that he can no longer just get away with that like brute strength and moving. Like, you got to start to move really well.
And like, what wear and tear has that put on his body?
I know.
The years of catching those cleans in odd positions, and like it's gonna do its damage at some point, right?
Mm-hmm.
But
other than that,
there's my surprise right there.
What one?
Guy Majeros.
Guy in 7th. I mean, he's going to be in top 10 at Rogue. That's not really
But I don't think he was last year. I'm going to say this because he gets dogged so much. He he is fun to watch. When it's his thing, he is so good at it. Like it is like watching perfection.
Agree.
And it's like, I remember when I was a kid watching Ken Griffey Jr. swing the bat. And it was like so beautiful because he did it so well. And like, that's how I look at Guy. He's just naturally made to be good at things. And it is amazing to watch him do that. And he has so much fun out there.
He does. He is fun to watch when he's
And
it's
I
his
think I
wheelhouse.
said it last night. He's majestic. Like when he is on, it is majestic to watch.
He's like the only person I like to watch snatch because it actually looks good.
It looks perfect.
I know.
Like it, and
I'm like,
watching
oh,
it when he wants to sprint, like his sprint looks amazing. And if I were to take my head and put it on any body, it would be his. It used to be Neil Maddox, but Neil's getting a little old. CrossFit says Guy is that Neil Maddox thing where it doesn't make sense for him not to do all the things well, but he's happier. I mean, Guy's probably making money from sponsors, making like his following. Like when E Captures did a shoot of him at the Tier Cup and let me collaborate with him, the amount of followers that Guy has that commented and liked and it is freaking amazing. When you're little peons like us in the social media world and you connect yourself to Guy for a day, like your social media blows up.
Yeah. I think the thing about Guy, whether you're watching him or listening to him or he makes you smile. I don't know that I've ever like watched Guy and not had a smile on my face. Like I don't know if he's just happy and it just permeates into me, but like, I don't get that from very many other athletes. I can see it in like Ariel.
Yep.
But there's other athletes who you just, you don't even want to hear them talk. You want them to go interview anyone else. Like
that's how I feel about Danny Spiegel. I love to hear her talk. I think she's bubbly. I think she's personable, but she gets dogged too. So, maybe that's just what attracts me to people that I want to hang out with. Craig says he's a superstar in Brazil. Lynn says Guy is laughing all the way to the bank as others dog him. Vi says, I think Guy is really fun to watch and is really just one group that gives him constant shit. Maybe. So Noah used to annoy me, and now I love Noah.
I go back and forth on him. See, I used to really like Noah. There's things now that like start to annoy me.
What's funny to me is I interviewed him and I admitted to him that he used to annoy me. And then he just goes, I know, I do that to some people, but I am who I am. And
in person, I do enjoy Noah.
Yeah.
Sometimes I just get that cringe when I'm watching him, but I've never had an issue talking to him in person.
Yeah, in person, he is very fan friendly. He will not leave until he signs every autograph, takes every picture. Like the dude is a rock star. And he is really as nice as he is. Like he is sugar, saccharine, sweet, nice. But yeah.
Did you watch Tia's award speech or win speech or however, maybe right after the last event?
Which one?
Tia's.
I didn't.
Did you catch the earlier one where she was like, said she was the underdog?
I did. Yeah.
She like
Never.
she doubled down on that in the second one. I can't even remember explicitly what she said. It is like
Great athletes sometimes have to make up stories to motivate themselves. If you watch The Last Dance, Michael Jordan did it all the time.
I don't know.
He would say that, like, people tried to poison his pizza in Utah, and that's why he went out and did what he did the next. Like, everything is a reason for Michael Jordan.
Yeah.
And
I don't
CrossFit
know.
does it too.
It just I can't remember the word she used in the second one, but it was more of a she's saying basically nobody's rooting for her, but like that's the words she needs to use. Like, and the crowd may not be behind me, like, yeah, nobody is rooting for you. Nobody's cheering you on
That
because
is definitely not true.
well, there are a lot, but like that's I think what she hears is the like we're over her winning and we want someone else to win, and it's not that we don't think you're gonna win. We definitely think you're gonna win. We're sick of it.
Well, I think analysts do that, and then she probably hears that. But whenever you're at
Right.
a live event with her and she comes out on the floor, the place erupts.
Well, I'd say probably even more so in the European environment. I'm
I
guessing
think
there's
at
even
Syndicate Crown it was loud. Now there are homers in like different areas too, right? Like Haley has her people live like an hour away from the Syndicate Crown, so that distorts kind of the overall thing. But yeah, Tia's never the underdog. She is the
No.
greatest to ever do it. She's the greatest that will ever do it because nobody's going to string together this many championships ever again. It'll just never happen.
Yeah, I don't know. I just her speeches and Laura's both rubbed me the wrong way.
Vi says everyone knew she was going to win. We just also don't care about it. I think Jamie is right. People are a little tired of her winning and are ready to root for someone else. I'm not disagreeing with you guys at all because when she wasn't at the games, it was more fun to watch because you didn't know who was going to win.
Right.
Sports are better when you don't know the outcome.
Right.
Like, sports are not fun for me because my Bears are going to lose every week and I already know it before the game happens. Tia enters an event, you know she's going to win. Unless she's 5 months postpartum and she takes second. So, Bruce says she makes comps so boring. Craig says, where do you think Emma Lawson and Alexis would have placed if they participated at Rogue? I have no idea. And I don't think Rogue is really ideal for either one of them.
No, but I think Alexis would have done pretty well. She's not far off from Ariel and Alex Kazan. You're gonna find her in that tier. So she's gonna probably be right there in the top 5.
I think that they're both stronger than she is. Raw strength. And Alexis is not great with a sandbag.
She's great at a sandbag now. She spent an entire year doing all sandbag everything.
Where did we see the proof?
Well, it's too bad she wasn't here because I actually think she would have done great. Alexis, if you listen, test this workout and upload it so that we can prove Scott wrong because I believe in you, girl.
Lynn says, I also think media has a place to play in that. Like with everyone saying they're sick of her winning in other sports, she'd be getting a runway walk, and that is just sad for CrossFit. I don't think that's true completely, Lynn. Other sports hate the winners too. Like I couldn't stand Tom Brady. I didn't want to see him win another Super Bowl. I wanted someone else to win a Super Bowl. I didn't like the Golden State Warriors when they were winning a bunch. I like when you don't know the outcome. But I do believe that you're right that does contribute then to her thinking she's an underdog because everybody's rooting for other people.
Yeah, those two are not synonymous. She needs to rethink how she states that. She's not the underdog.
Yeah.
It's 0-10 end of the first quarter. Not good. What's going on? Lana, you watching?
Lions are losing.
They are.
Again, CrossFit kind of echoes my sentiments. Okay. Back to the notes. Let's stop sharing.
All right.
Our very own Carolyn Prevo got to be on the desk show on the tailgate party.
How was it?
I think she was there at least 3 times. It was awesome seeing her. I thought she did great.
Good.
First day, I could tell she was a little nervous right off the bat, but those nerves went away and she got into a groove. So that was pretty cool. I also think the premium package is well worth the money. I really enjoyed it. This morning, the desk had on the tailgate party had me laughing so hard. When events aren't always super exciting and you get storytelling from like Annie Thorstadter, Josh Bridges, China Cho, it was really, really good. And this morning was awesome. The play between Josh and Annie, like Josh said, Annie, how tall are you? And Annie goes, I don't know. How short are you? Like that's the stuff that happens. And then they brought out Scottish foods for them to try, and they all ended up loving haggis.
Wow.
And Pat Sherwood's like, I have become a huge haggis fan, and this is the best thing I've had in Scotland. Like the best part of my experience has been haggis.
Interesting.
And Annie's like, Pat, you'll never look at a sheep the same way again.
Funny.
So they were really, really funny. And it was really fun to watch. Half Thor was on this morning, and Josh said about him that, man, that guy's so big. I sit there and think to myself, this man is just letting me live. But they were actually drinking whiskey this morning too, because that was one of the sponsors of the tailgate party.
Oh my gosh.
So it was pretty crazy. Lots of Lions talk. And then we have Bruce keep bringing up this rumor that none of us know about. And I will not believe it.
I would be shocked as well. Like, so Bruce is saying, or bringing up the rumor
Ricky
that
is leaving for Proven.
Yeah, I mean, the only thing I can think is like people saying people are hanging out with other people. I can see him hanging out with Jay Crouch just because he's, like I don't. But I don't think that necessarily means he wants to go train with him. Tristan agrees. Ricky leaving seems thin. I would be surprised, to do that to someone like Kotler who took him under his wing when nobody wanted to take him on, man,
Yeah, I was just going to say that. I know the place that the risk that Justin took taking him on, coming back from suspension, was a huge one. And the fact that he did that and supported Ricky through that time, if Ricky walks away, I lose a ton of respect.
I agree with that.
But I'm a loyalty guy. I'm like loyalty to a fault.
Guess we'll find out. They said Spin pretty much firmly said it.
CrossFit says, I think he saw the pro athlete aspects of Proven, the small percentage changes he can make.
Or go get hurt, because I mean they
Right.
ruined.
Who's proving the changes are good?
Yeah, I mean they ruined
Other
broken.
than Tia, Jay Crouch made his jump before he joined Proven.
Mm-hmm.
So, like, I don't know.
Because I mean Brooke moved on. Who was it? Spencer Saxon that was there and moved on. Both got hurt under them.
I will lose a lot of respect for Ricky if he leaves. Totally. Yeah, that's true. Such a loyalty guy hasn't fired Eberflus yet. That is correct. See? Should have fired him last year, but I'm too loyal. Dang it. You guys are commenting too fast. Say Maddie Sturt. She's going to work out with Jay regardless.
Right. And that alone is going to help her excel.
Mertens joined Proven and then didn't make the games. And I love Joey Tutora. So I don't think that Colton makes the games, joins Proven, doesn't make the games. There's more evidence to the contrary. And the way people join Proven, like a month before the semifinals or a month before the games, makes it hard to know what effect was made where, when, and how.
But I don't disagree that was a semifinals programming issue. I got all kinds of programming issues.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's the problem with Colton, though. Like, things are either going to be, he's just.
He is at a disadvantage.
Yeah.
He's
at
the height he is. He cannot change that.
Right. He's either at an extreme advantage, and you can't just program everything that's going to suit him. That'd be
right.
So.
Anyway.
Yes, I agree. When he's an anthropomorphic outlier, it's
The ascension at underdogs, I'd say Alex Kazan. Ricky, when healthy, has finished second at the games. Underdogs has a bunch of Australian athletes.
I mean, he still has Braun, right?
What's that?
He still has Braun, right?
Yeah. But I know Benny Gerard works with Justin too and helps him coach in Australia. So there's a lot of things that just don't make sense.
Yeah. I don't know.
Anyway, we'll move on. I don't want that to be true.
Don't put it in the ether.
Then we had the injuries. We talked about Gabby already. Heinrich confirmed his on Instagram that it looked like his was a rupture again. Of course, they have not had their scans, but when you feel, Gabby even said when they felt down there wasn't an Achilles. So they're pretty sure it's ruptured. Right. So Heinrich said the same thing. Looks like an Achilles rupture. He was heading back to Finland to get all that stuff started for him as well. And we talked about Emma Tall, right? For that.
Yep.
So then I thought the venue looked awesome.
Agree.
I think the turf inside was great and really allowed for the sled pushes and different things like that to happen. I thought it was pretty cool.
Mm-hmm.
And then my last question to you about Rogue is, after seeing it, who do you think is poised to make like a good jump back into a good season next year?
I mean, I feel like it's tough to say Jason because he lets you down at the game sometimes. But I mean, this has got to give Jason a little bit more confidence moving into the season that he's making the right changes, moving back home. I expect him to continue to improve. Dalen, I'm excited for Dalen. He had a couple letdowns here. And then I don't know. Jay, I think Jay's in a.
So I'm going to go out of the box. I was impressed with Amanda Barnhart. After having shoulder surgery, having the shoulder injury,
right,
going through all that rehab, doing what I thought she's actually starting to look like herself again.
Agree.
And actually, I think while the shoulder injury was happening, she did more monostructural stuff. And I thought she actually looked better on the runs and those types of things. And she's never going to win those events, right?
No.
But I thought she did better than she had in the past. And I think that it would be cool to see her make a comeback next year. Maybe I'm just rooting for my Ohio girl.
I mean, I think Emma, get her healthy. Emma Tall.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, like, and Brooke looks great to me. Like, she's clearly healed from her shoulder.
Craig, she was never talked about.
No.
But that's why you come to us. Because we notice those things that other people don't. But she never was like at the very bottom of anything. She kind of middled a lot. And I don't think her strength is back. I think because of that shoulder, her strength is not where it was, which was elite.
Right.
And if her other stuff has gotten better because of it, it'd be cool to see where she's going to be next year.
It's weird that her and Haley finished right next to each other.
Alex Brooke, Emma, if she can get healthy. I saw Lynn say Emma Tall.
Mm-hmm. Emma McQuaid, I don't know. She wasn't talked about really at all. You didn't get to see much of her.
Oh, she finished dead last too.
Oh yeah, I know. Yeah, like
she's been dealing with a lot of injuries.
Okay.
When I talked to her before the games, she had like bad vertigo and was dealing with a neck issue. And she was only starting to be able to do movements right before the games. At some point, like, you look at risk reward with injuries, right? Like,
yeah.
Do I keep pushing through all this stuff, or is it just time to stop? But I think she wanted to do Rogue in kind of her home area.
Yeah.
And I'm glad she got the chance to do that, because she's a really cool lady. Maddie Sturt did great.
She did.
I see a lot of those in here too. And then Bruce, the naysayer. Should Pat retire? No, he was sick.
He was sick. That's day 3 would not have been that bad for him in any other situation.
Yeah. Yeah, the Sarah Sig story is one of my favorite, my least favorite things in the world. I love that woman. She's always been awesome to us. But I think that Emma is kind of heading down that path where maybe the injuries are just mounting up too much.
Yeah.
So, well, we want to get Jamie to the Lions game as quickly as possible. Did they score?
They scored, but Houston just got a field goal. So it's 7-13.
Okay. I swear Vellner was made for burpees. His speed when the change was made, Jesus. So, what about
He's
Gee?
gonna keep being Gee.
He's gonna be Gee.
Yeah, and we're here for it.
Yeah, I love the Gee we have. He doesn't need to be anybody else. So, just so you know, another event was going on this weekend in Arizona, called the Desert City Classic. And it featured a lot of the athletes that are our traditional semifinal athletes that this show likes to follow and talk about. And so we just wanted to go down through the leaderboard. It was held at the same place where Legends was held last year at Arizona State University, which is a beautiful facility with a connected outdoor Olympic swimming pool, as well as 2 floors, but they did not stream. Yes, Wad Gods was on this weekend too.
Yep.
But so I'm going to pull up. I did screenshots of their leaderboard because it was not running fast today. So here is what we have for the women's side. Zoe Warren took the victory at Desert City Classic. Hattie Canyo, show, an Ascend athlete, took second. Hannah Black took third, also friend of the show. Haley Kentak took fourth. Aaliyah Miller took fifth.
Nice.
Madison McElhaney took sixth, another friend of the show and Ascend athlete.
Yep.
Thea Flores took seventh. Elisa Shower took eighth. Rochelle Hudson ninth. And Kyla Romero took 10th. And they were very active on social media. So if you follow them on IG, you'll get to see a lot of content from the weekend. And Lynn reminds us that Beetlejuice extravaganza in Latin America with Tola, Lena, and Oscar M from Proven.
Haley was impressive. Is that Haley Cantak? She's young.
Yeah, that's the name I did not recognize.
Like just coming out of the teen bracket. Let's see if Tristan knows.
On the men's side, another friend of the show, Max Krieg. John Wood took second.
John and Zoe are a couple.
Yep.
Almost.
And CJ Gerald, another friend of the show, took third. Brandon Smith, fourth. Matt Brady, friend of the show, took fifth. Jace Brooks, sixth. Anthony Yim, seventh. Tristan Harrison, friend of the show, took eighth. And Kale Taylor, participant. Brandon Freebury took ninth. And Adam McAdams took 10th. And so Haley was impressive, according to Tristan. And she is young and raw and so sneaky good.
I'm pretty sure Mark Thickboy sort of works with her.
Has Max rested since CrossFit Masters? Max who, Lynn? Max Krieg is not a Masters.
No, Max is young. I'm not sure who.
He is a naval dive captain or something.
Yeah. I don't think anyone in that list is over 32.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah, I don't think so either.
I think John might be the oldest one.
Sometimes, so Max is being coached by Lynn Berger as well. And so maybe that's the confusion, because she typically coaches her husband and other Masters athletes.
He did do Crash. But before that, I don't know.
So congrats to all those athletes. I wish that, we talked about it last week, like something that CrossFit needs to do to grow, and that is stream. We are a grassroots sport, and it doesn't matter if it's down and dirty streaming or elaborate streaming. Everything just needs to be streamed. We just need to see what's going on at these competitions so we can talk about them and report on them. But yeah, I wish they would do that. Is something exciting happening in the game?
I guess it would have been an interception. They almost just called an interception. I just hearing screaming. Interception or a fumble recovery. Either one. We lost the ball. Not good.
Okay. Yeah. But I love supporting those athletes that work really hard. And I know that there's been high praise for that Desert City Classic where the programming was done by Scott Panchek. So I'm interested to take a look at the workouts to see what his programming looks like.
Mm-hmm. How was it, Tristan? Did you like the workouts?
He's talking about being a Detroit fan, so I'm not going to pull it up.
Buddy. He is a good coach. Tristan said it
good overall.
Yeah. Yeah. I want to look at them. And do we know how Wild Gods ended up? Anything over there? Did Bryson win?
I don't know.
A little run heavy. Dang, I should have went.
You know what I want? I want to go back and go to that Airbnb we were in and be able to use the pool.
Yeah. Agree.
That's what I want to do. So yeah, we'll look at those. We'll talk about some stuff. If there's anything you want to talk about, throw it in the chat, throw it in the comments. As we're kind of hitting kind of a doldrum area of the season. Who knows? Maybe some CrossFit news will come out by like people changing training camps or whatever. But every time I think it's going to be slow, we have 2 pages full of notes to talk about.
Right.
So
I didn't know Jacob Marlowe was at Wild Gods. For some reason I was thinking it. So he says Casey Strong was first, Jacob second, Lydia Fish was first, and Cody Vitetto was second.
I love Cody Vitetto. She is the one that owns a coffee shop in Houston that they make the cereal milk lattes. These are the weird facts I know about people because I interview them before semifinals.
Jacob went 1-1-1-6-4 at Wild Gods.
And when we say Jacob, we mean Jacob Marlowe.
Yes. Nice.
Lydia's been competing like crazy.
Yeah.
She just needs experience.
Yeah, it's not necessarily a bad thing as long as she can stay healthy through it.
Yeah, Vi asks, she says, this may be a silly question, but is there a central location that houses all CrossFit competitions? Like, can you search a database for fitness competitions near me? I don't know of anything like that. I know that Morning Chalk Up used to put everything they know at the very end of their email, the daily email. Mm-hmm. And I think Lynn has a great point. If they're a competition corner, you go in there and see the list, but it is the worst.
Yeah.
It's database searching.
And not everything's on competition corner. Some go to the strongest compete or whatever.
The Desert City was with StreamFit.
Yeah.
Crash was local comps.
Mm-hmm. That's the other one I couldn't think of.
So yeah. That's all I really know.
Yeah.
But with that, it's been a fun night. We'll try to pop on with Carolyn and just do like a short show with what her experience was like in Scotland. I know she's going to have to catch up with her job.
Holy smokes.
When she gets back as well. But maybe she tried some haggis and we can find out what that was like. I don't think I could ever do it. Could you try it?
Yeah, I'd probably try it.
Yeah, I don't know. I probably could once. Yeah. All right. With that, guys, it's been a blast. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Hit that notifier. We love doing this. We love being here every week. We love hanging out with you guys. Can't wait to do it again next week. We'll see everybody then. Until then, see ya.